Hello, I would like to present our research on how does stress affect our eating habits. A survey research designed among California St. Dominguez Hills students. Hello, my name is Andres Aquino.
I'm Mary Carla Gallegos.
I'm Teresa Vereen.
Carmen is in the computer and Janelle is in the camera.
I would like to begin by saying our background. The purpose of our study is to investigate the relationship between stress and eating habits. Researchers found that the transition to college increased life stress and are at high risk for weight gain. As college students, I'm sure we have all experienced this in some sort. I would like to present our first reference with Wilson. Wilson states that in his research group, focused predictors on emotional eating, such as with deadlines, exams, and staying on top of their tasks with school. Up next, we have Adam. Adam states that eating calorically dense foods during times of stress can engage the reward circuit of the brain, which will promote energy-dense foods as a coping mechanism for stress. Since students are using unhealthy foods as a coping mechanism, they can become dependent on those types of foods in times of stress.
Additionally, we included Apple's study that he states that the majority of individuals going through stress experience increased appetite and heighten their risk for weight gain. With this research of stress and eating habits, we want to know, depending on the student's stress levels of stress, their eating habits are more than likely to be unhealthy. By looking at what Apple says, he clearly wants to find out what it makes a student's eating habits so unhealthy. We also found that, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, the prevalence rates of obesity among non-Hispanic Asian youth are 8.6%, was lower than non-Hispanic white, 14.7%, non-Hispanic black, 19.5%, and Hispanic youth at 21%. So depending on each of the population, we want to see how unhealthy they are, and it will lead us to develop our hypotheses. So our hypothesis is stress affects our quality of eating habits. We hypothesize that the stress causes students to overeat, and which leads them to have unhealthy eating habits. Our independent variable are stress, and dependent variables are eating habits, which is the quality of eating habits. We define stress as a pressure or tension from a certain activity, such as social environments, schoolwork, personal, or etc. And for eating habits, we define it as our intake of food. And with those defines, it will lead us to develop our method to perform our research. Our methods are our research design is the analysis class for testing our hypothesis, is a correlation test. A correlation test is designed to see the relationship between the two variables as stress and eating habits. The variables were measured through our fellow classmates in our 460 class.
Method questions. We developed 4 method questions. The first one is, on an average semester week, how many times do you feel stressed about school or work? Question 2, how many days in the past week have you experienced stress? Question 3, during a school week, how would you rate your eating habits from 1 to 10? 1 being very healthy, 10 being very unhealthy. Question 4, how many days during the week do you eat out?
Go.
Hi, I'm Carmen, and this is Janelle. So I'm going to be talking about results. So basically in our survey, there were 23 people who were surveyed. 19 were female and 4 were male. 5 people identified themselves as African American, 14 identified themselves as Hispanic, 1 as Asian, 1 as white, and 2 as mixed. So in the first histogram, you can see that 14 people described themselves as very unhealthy, and 9 people were very neutral about it. In total, there was 23 people who answered the survey. And then on the second histogram, only 22 people answered the survey. Each person answered a various numbers of 1 through 10, and one person actually answered 20. Most people answered, as you can see, was 10. So the result of our study was that the value of significance was 0.599, and since it is bigger than 0.05, it is not significant. It means that it did not have a relationship between the two.
So discussion. Some strengths that we did with the study that was conducted was constant communication with Dr. Fawn if we had a question or whatnot, and getting feedback from our homeworks from him was pretty fast, and getting a hold of him was pretty easy via email. He also gave his phone number out whenever we needed it, so he was always able to be contacted. Another good strength that we had was the good research that was being conducted in general, the good survey that was sent out. A few limitations that we had on the study was that was conducted was that there weren't a lot of males that were in the study. I think there was about 4 males total, right? Yeah, 4 males total. So that limited us and everyone else that did in the groups too. If we had more males, it would have it could have skewed our correlation or given us a correlation. Another one was our sample size. We only had 23. There was one question that only had 22 participants. So I think also if we had a little bit more of those would also limited us. So it would be a different study. Additionally, we would want to add more ratio level questions to our research for more accurate results. More ratio leveled equals more open-ended, so there's more free answers to give, not just yes and no questions. Discussion continued. Some possible implications that we had in the study were that there wasn't a lot of people that responded to the survey. Like Carmen had said before, the result of our study was the value of significance was 0.599, and since that is bigger than 0.05, there's no correlation, and so that is due to the fact that there was not a large number of participants. For our future purposes, we would need more people to participate in the survey. Conclusion. So in our research, like we have said before, there is no correlation that we have specifically found. We only had 23, one had 22 participants total, so that has skewed our correlation, and there was no correlation, and if that was also due to a large sample size and not enough questions. We only had about 4 questions total. If we had more, that would definitely, it could have given us a correlation, could or could not, but that's pretty much what our sample size was, as well as didn't have enough questions. So that does it for our sample study. I hope you guys enjoyed our study. And our references here, and then on the next slide as well. Sorry.